Welcome everybody to Sundry News for Monday, June 29th. I say everybody in a hopeful way, perhaps a slightly wistful way. Anyway, we begin with the Daily Wire. CBD painkiller breakthrough erases pain in minutes. Natural Relief PureCBD.com. LeBron launches new media empire with $100 million investment. Intends to move the culture. Whatever. Watch. Black Lives Matter activists storm Target store, threaten to shut your business down if you call the police. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Trump executive order strips federal funding from cities that fail to protect federal monuments. I think that's a good one. Too many executive orders is too many and not good, but I'd say that sounds like a good one. Democrats passed resolution to rename John Wayne Airport, say he was racist, bigoted. Fuck you guys. Just fuck you guys. Watch. Armed St. Louis residents stand guard over property as demonstrators enter residential neighborhood. Good for them. Why do they have to wait till now to start standing up? I mean, if you do something a little sooner, then you wouldn't have to stand guard right outside your own home. I'm just saying. Blah, blah, blah. Bunch of ads. There you go. Moving on. The Daily Yahoo. 2 teenage boys shot to death after asking man how tall he was while buying candy. 2 teenage boys were shot to death after asking the suspect how tall he was when they were buying candy from a South Chicago store, police said. Well, yeah, you can be reasonably certain that they were probably being super obnoxious about how they were asking. That's still no reason to shoot people. Just saying. We can read about this, I guess. The incident occurred at approximately 5 p.m. on Saturday, June 20th, after 3 teenage boys went to a store in South Chicago to buy some candy and ended up having a brief encounter with 19-year-old Leroy Battle inside the establishment. So they're all teenagers, technically. The victims were walking into the store. They saw Battle. He was standing in line while at the store, and the victims commented that Battle, he was quite tall, and they asked him how tall he was and hoped to be that tall someday, said Deputy Chief of Detectives Brendan Dinahan. Unfortunately, we will never even see the full growth of these poor children. Aw. Maybe they weren't so obnoxious. The 3 teenage boys then left the store and proceeded to walk home together when police say that Battle approached them and began shooting. What the fuck? Jacene Francis, 17, was shot in the back, chest, and left hand. Charles Riley, 16, was shot in the back and left leg. The 3rd teen, who was not identified, managed to escape the gunfire. Both of the boys who were shot were taken to University of Chicago Hospital and later died from the injuries they suffered during the shooting. The security cameras from the area were able to show the offender discarding a gun in the garbage can, and then Battle was eventually found hiding out in a motel. He was arrested without incident, Dinahan announced in the press conference. So which one of these... Who's this a picture of? It doesn't say. It doesn't say which of them it's a picture of. I'm guessing it's the killer, but how can you tell? It doesn't say. Police also said that they recovered 9 shell casings from the scene of the crime. A prayer vigil to honor the 2 teenagers was held on Friday night near the scene of the shooting. He was a kid, said Jashawn. Maybe it's Jashawn. Jashawn. That makes sense. Jashawn Francis's aunt, LaTanya Petty, according to ABC News' Chicago station WLS. Liked video games, snacks, that was his thing. He would walk into this hospital gift shop daily and purchase snacks. He was nice to seniors on the block, said author of Francis's aunts. Said another of Francis's aunts, Keena Hoyle. The nurses looked forward to him coming over there daily. They brought over to the family roses. They watched him grow up as a child. Authorities are still trying to understand the motive behind the shootings. There was no altercation, said Dinahan. There was nothing that would have set off Battle to be angry at these kids. He is about 6'3", 6'4", and they literally just asked him how tall he was because he is extremely tall. Battle was denied bond and has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Police said he had a previous conviction for aggravated unlawful use of a weapon for which he received probation. Justice was very swift in this case because we got help from the community, Danahan declared during his public statement to the press. Well, that's refreshing. The offender was identified quickly because the community called the detectives and they told them that it was Battle in the video. That is how this case broke. The private security camera footage provided to CPD was incredibly valuable in this case. The fact that detectives can now retrieve this footage quickly and then request the help of the community to identify these kinds of offenders is invaluable, if this actually keeps happening. I mean, the community helping, if they keep doing that. This is just one example of how Chicago can help improve the public safety by working together to remove these very dangerous offenders from the streets, said Danahan. Okay. Biden slams Trump over reported bounties placed on U.S. troops. That doesn't sound like it's true. Joe Biden attacked President Donald Trump on Saturday over a report that he said, if true, contains a truly shocking revelation about the commander-in-chief and his failure to protect U.S. troops in Afghanistan and stand up to Russia. Brazen cartel attack in Mexico City opens new front in crime battle. Mexico's bustling capital was once seen as a relative oasis in the country's raging drug war, but a shocking military-style assassination attempt on the city's police chief offers proof at least one gang is unafraid to shatter the peace. The hyper-violent Jalisco New Generation cartel, I guess. Rolling Stones threaten to sue Trump over using their songs. The Rolling Stones are threatening President Donald Trump with legal action for using their songs at his rallies despite cease and desist directives. The Stones said in a statement Sunday that their legal team is working with music rights organization BMI to stop use of their shitty music. Used cars are costing dealers more, but this can still be your summer of deals. The wholesale used vehicle market saw values jump above pre-panic forecasts, but the situation still looks good from the shopper's point of view. From Car and Driver. Okie dokie. Ford, VW, Honda, and BMW will stay neutral on challenges to Trump emissions rule. 4 major automakers will not take a position on legal challenges to the Trump administration's decision to dramatically weaken Obama-era fuel economy standards, but want to weigh in on any court fix, according to a document seen by Reuters. Well, do you expect them to... Do you expect these automakers to have a problem with less stringent standards? What do you expect? Featured. New episode, children's stories read by famous voices. Listen to Yahoo and the GeneCo Foundation's new podcast, Stories, with Benedict Cumberbatch, Rachel Brosnahan, and more reading short stories for children. These stories were submitted by the general public as part of a Yahoo writing competition held during the 2020 coronavirus lockdown. Definitely not trusting any of those to be good children's stories for my children. Although it would be funny if Benedict Cumberbatch had to read a story about a penguin. What's hot? It's Yahoo search. I never would have guessed. Trending now, Black Lives Matter, Arnold Schwarzenegger, coronavirus spike, Jenna Marbles, Mariska Hargitay, debt relief programs, Linda Cardellini, dental plans, affordable bathroom remodeling, and Jojo Siwa. Okie dokie. Next, we move on to 1440. Good morning! It's Monday, June 29th, and coronavirus cases are continuing to surge. Facebook is battling an ad boycott, and Mississippi is set for a flag change. Oh, dear God. Need to know. 2.5 million cases. The U.S. passed 2.5 million confirmed coronavirus cases over the weekend, with almost 126,000 deaths. The figure equals roughly 1/4 of the world's total reported cases, which now exceed 10 million with 500,000 deaths, despite the U.S. accounting for under 5% of the global population. The 7-day moving average for new daily cases in the U.S. is more than 36,000, roughly 5,000 higher than the previous April peak. The virus continues to accelerate in states like Arizona, Texas, Florida, and elsewhere. Both Florida and Texas reversed reopening plans, limiting capacity and service at bars and restaurants. California closed bars in Los Angeles and across the Central Valley. Vice President Mike Pence canceled public campaign events scheduled for this week in Arizona and Florida. See states with the largest increase in cases and deaths over the past week here. Despite the spike in new cases, death rates have thus remained much lower than in April. Public health experts say this may be a combination of the lag between new cases and severe symptom onset, an undercount of existing cases in April, and an increasing infection rate in young people. I'm so sure there was an undercount. Right. Some estimates report patients under 35, less likely to fall seriously ill but more likely to drive asymptomatic spread, account for half of new cases in recent weeks. Here's a look at the risk factors for severe COVID-19 symptoms. Facebook ad boycott. An advertiser boycott against Facebook snowballed over the weekend as Unilever, Coca-Cola, Honda, and others said they would suspend spending over claims the platform too loosely regulates hate speech and misinformation. Many advertisers have complained their ads often appear next to questionable paid content, and more than 130 companies will pause ads through at least July. Oh, brother. Direct revenue loss may be minimal. The company's nearly $70 billion in ad revenue is spread across millions of ad buyers, but Facebook stock fell 8.3% Friday, erasing more than $56 billion in market value. Organizers have said they are not focused on financial impact, but rather forcing the company to change its content moderation policies. They want more censorship? More tyranny? Is that it? Company officials said they set policy independent of revenue dollars, though CEO Mark Zuckerberg said the company would do more to tamp down on hateful content in a virtual town hall Friday. Because hateful is an objective term, right? It's not just something that to one person is okay, but to another person is awful. Because that's exactly what it is. It's completely subjective. One experiment showed how easily misinformation slips through Facebook's review process. Obviously, one of your problems is people going to Facebook to see what their friends are posting in order to find whatever facts and news is happening that day. Flag change in Mississippi. Mississippi lawmakers voted yesterday to initiate a process to remove a Confederate emblem from the state flag. The bill, expected to be signed by Governor Tate Reeves, Republican, come on, man, would create a committee to submit a new design for approval by November. Critics had pushed for a change for years, but recent nationwide protests over racial justice and the state's college athletics programs accelerated the decision. Nationwide protests over racial justice, over history, over the preservation of history. That's what this is about. It's about protesting the preservation of history. The current design, adopted in 1894, features a version of the Confederate battle flag in the upper left corner. Its inclusion was said to honor fallen Confederate soldiers. Citizens of Mississippi who died fighting for their homes. Not for slavery, for their homes, for their families. Mississippi is the only remaining state to include the symbol in its flag. Many have noted a change is particularly warranted given Mississippi has the country's largest percentage of black residents at almost 38%. See the Stennis flag, one of the leading contenders to replace the banner. No, thank you. Separately, Princeton University will drop former President Woodrow Wilson's name from its School of Public Policy. Just erasing history. Bone broth for better living. Kettle and fire. Imagine you need a quick snack or light meal. Maybe you just finished a workout, or maybe that MasterChef marathon caused you to build up an appetite. We're not judging, but you need something nutritious, delicious, and ready to eat in seconds. You need Kettle and Fire. Kettle and Fire wants to make the world a better place by making health convenient and delicious. Their premium line of bone broth was crafted meticulously by world-class chefs and made with the best whole ingredients. See them here. It's rich in collagen, protein, electrolytes, and other supporting nutrients you won't find anywhere else. So whether you lead an on-the-go lifestyle, work out frequently, or need to hit dietary goals like gluten-free, non-GMO, keto, paleo, or Whole30, Kettle and Fire is the brand for you. All products are ready to ship and delivered right to your door, so grab your first taste of Kettle and Fire today. For the next 7 days, all 1440 readers can get 20% off with coupon code 1440. Please support our sponsors. In the know. Sports, entertainment, and culture. Former NFL MVP Cam Newton signs one-year deal with New England Patriots, will compete for starting quarterback job left vacant by Tom Brady. Milton Glaser, New York Magazine co-founder and creator of iconic I Heart New York logo, dies at 91. The graduate author Charles Webb dies at 81. The Young and the Restless and Jeopardy host Alex Trebek among big winners at Daytime Emmy Awards. Artists Roddy Ricch and Lizzo lead awardees at 2020 BET Awards. Drool-worthy flavors keep clean eating fresh, interesting, and fun. Boredom kills any healthy eating plan, which is why Kettle and Fire created 16 distinct flavors that hit the spot no matter what you're in the mood for. Grab 20% off with code 1440. Science and technology. Dolphins learn new methods to hunt prey and search for food from their peers, not just their mothers, study finds. Well, dolphins are very smart. Theorists calculate a new upper limit for the quantization of a unit of time at 10 to the negative 33rd power seconds. Einstein's general relativity says time should be continuous, while quantum mechanics says it should be discrete. DNA analysis on a 9,500-year-old Siberian dog suggests sledge dogs evolved much earlier than previously thought. Study impacts the timeline for when and how Arctic settlers adapted to the environment. Business and markets. U.S. stock markets down Friday. S&P 500 down 2.4%, Dow down 2.8%, Nasdaq down 2.6% as panic cases grow. Shares of grocer Albertsons trade down 3% in first day as public company after pricing IPO below target range. Amazon acquires autonomous driving tech firm Zoox for reported $1.2 billion. Apparel retailer Gap shares surged 42% after announcing partnership with Kanye West to develop Yeezy Gap line. Fracking pioneer Chesapeake Energy files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and amid panic-induced decline in energy prices. Politics and world affairs. One dead after a gunman opens fire outside a Louisville protest zone. Suspect had reportedly been part of protests but was asked to leave after causing a disruption. President Trump draws backlash after sharing, then deleting a video that includes a Florida senior yelling, "White Power." Aides say he never saw the comment. Okay. Russian intelligence units reportedly offered bounties to Taliban-linked militants for killing U.S. and foreign soldiers in Afghanistan. Saharan dust cloud reaches the southeastern U.S., with health warnings issued for those with respiratory ailments. Gulf states expected to be hit later in the week. Whole ingredients, no BS. Too many health problems boil down to bad food. Many of the foods that are convenient and available to us are pumped full of addictive sugars and artificial ingredients with zero nutritional value. But that doesn't have to be the case with Kettle and Fire. Their bone broths are great sources of collagen for your skin, protein for your muscles, electrolytes for hydration, and so much more. It's compatible with most diets, and the flavors are delicious. Some of our favorites are coconut curry and butternut squash. Yummy. Check Kettle and Fire out today and use code 1440 for 20% off. Please support our sponsors. Etc. What parents can learn from child care centers that stayed open during lockdown. That sounds interesting. Why you should wear a face mask in one simple model. No, thank you. The stunning beauty of a hike in the Dolomites. I don't know what that is. From our partners, did you know what Intel, CES, and other cool tech businesses have in common? They all use .tech domains. Learn about .tech and use code TECH499 for a 90% discount on your purchase. 90%, wow. Yelp's Economic Impact Report paints a bleak picture for restaurants. Sad. Want to do some self-care? Stop doom scrolling. NASA compiles a video of 1 decade in the sun's life. Beyoncé will drop a Lion King-inspired visual album in July. The fuck is a visual album? And contenders for 2020's Song of the Summer. Clickbait. This summer's cicadas may turn into sex-crazed zombies. Ugh, that sounds lovely. History book. Original Globe Theater burns to the ground, 1613. Sad. Happy birthday, Kawhi Leonard, 1991. U.S. Space Shuttle docks with Russian space station for first time, 1995. Rest in peace, Hollywood legend Katharine Hepburn, 2003. Apple releases first iPhone, 2007. Love has nothing to do with what you're expecting to get, only with what you're expecting to give. Katharine Hepburn. Okay. That's all for today. Thank you, and goodbye.